So Republicans are brooding over Tuesday's election results, especially since they can't spin it in their favor. Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. We had another great day yesterday, thanks to you. So again, hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share, because this stupidity, it's not coming to an end. But today, I do actually want to go over what GOP officials and Fox News hosts have been saying this week. Some, of course, are taking the blue tsunami, well, let's just say better than others. Sean Hannity, well, he tried to claim that the election results don't indicate much about our country's direction. Play that clip.
But this brings us to last night's election. Unfortunately, the results really did not, in spite of what some people are trying to claim, it did not indicate much about the overall direction of the country. Let me say it differently. Every result was entirely predictable. 3 blue states that President Trump himself lost all 3 times he ran for president, they still voted for Democrats.
Yeah, look, anybody can play with numbers and statistics. Could you imagine what they would be saying if, in fact, that the results were different? This is a referendum on Trump's incredible, big, beautiful bill. This is a referendum on Trump's economy and his strength in dealing with foreign adversaries and with the entire world in the implications as it relates to tariffs. I mean, this is the nonsense that they would say. So, of course, they have to placate to their audience. Oh, this has nothing to do with anything. This is a true referendum. All right. And by the way, let me be clear as well. New Jersey is not necessarily a blue state. It's really more purple. I also want to allow you to have me fact check you, Sean, because on Monday, you know what you actually said? You said that the election was neck and neck. Play that clip.
And in New Jersey, the gubernatorial race remains neck and neck. Right now, every result was entirely predictable. 3 blue states that President Trump...
Yeah, like I said, did you notice in the first picture, you actually had Citarelli up by 1 percentage point, plus, of course, the minus of error, right, of polling error. But they had him up by 1 point. Now, Ted Cruz, he actually went on Hannity's show, and at least he was honest about the situation, saying that Tuesday's election was a disaster. Play the clip.
Look, last night was a disaster. It was an electoral blowout. The results in New Jersey were disastrous. The results in Virginia were terrible. The results in New York, Comrade Mondami is the face of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, let me be very clear about something, all right? Mondani is not the face of the Democratic Party as much as they would like to make it seem that way. No more than Gavin Newsom is, no more than Mikey Sherrill is, no more than Spamberger is. They all ran their own races for their own election. Now, Cruz continued to tell it how it is, that the Democrats are showing up in big numbers, though, of course, Hannity didn't want to hear it. Definitely doesn't want to hear it. Play the clip.
But number 2, Look, last night should be a warning sign. It should be a warning sign to Republicans across this country. The left, they're energized, they're angry. Democrats are outraising Republicans right now, 3-1, 4-1. It is dangerous, and I think on our side, they're Republicans, and they're just people who are common sense in the middle, who I fear are feeling happy, are feeling potentially complacent. That is really, really dangerous. The left showed up in big numbers last night, and common sense conservatives did not. If that happens a year from now, we face disaster in the midterms.
Okay. I don't feel as dire as you do. However, it is a cautionary tale always. And I think that you need to examine, you need reflection, introspection, course correction. And of course, the president laid the foundation for our economy to shift. I believe that will happen sooner than later. And when it does, there'll be a big story to tell there on top of all the peace deals he's put together. I'm pretty confident with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're confident, because you know what this referendum on this administration showed? That nobody but you are actually confident. In fact, my Substack of today, which I called the Supreme Court versus the Tariff King, it's very interesting, right? Think about what happened here. I write that there's a special kind of arrogance in watching Donald Trump pound the podium, sneering at economists and insisting that foreign countries are paying the tariffs. Now, he says it with that New York swagger, right? The delusional conviction that the world should just believe him because he said it. But here's the reality, and here's why they lost. Because tariffs are taxes, and consumers pay tariffs. Period. End of story. And every one of the dollars, the trillions and trillions of dollars that he's claiming and tariff revenue is coming in that he brags about, right? It is taken from the American people, from you, from me, from small business owners, from families just trying to buy a couch or a computer or a car, all paying for the privilege of Trump's trade tantrum. And they're not interested in it anymore. Well, then, of course, Jesse the Jerk-Off Waters, well, he went on an insane rant, about single women voting for Mamdani. Play the clip.
Jesse, your thoughts on this one?
So the Mamdani coalition is this. It's people not born in the country. And they're here now. And then it's people, blacks and Hispanic New Yorkers, and it's also people with college degrees, many degrees, and they're young. A lot of them are women. So let's talk about these single women, because they were the force here. You're in an apartment. It's small. It's very small, and it's very expensive. And you haven't gotten married and had kids and moved out to the suburbs like everybody else. So you're in a tiny apartment, and the apartment's getting really expensive because all of these migrants are here now. And it's also expensive because of the Green New Deal. So your utilities are high. And you got the wrong degree. You should have gotten a degree in like chemistry, biology, finance, computer science, something useful in this high-tech AI economy. No, but you got a degree in like Southeast Asian feminist literature. And you're wondering why you can't advance in this economy. And so you're...
Right. What an ass. Seriously. So just imagine that this guy is sitting there and he's talking on Fox News about something just like this. First and foremost, migrants are not taking your apartments. They are not outbidding you for your rent. Let me be very clear about that. Yeah, it's small and it's getting more expensive. And now you're going to blame the migrants? Why? Because you think that they're coming in 30 to a room? Because they don't care. What the hell is this idiot talking about? And the fact that Fox doesn't shut him up and turn around and say, come on, seriously, if you're not going to actually spew facts, you shouldn't be on a news channel, plain and simple. Now, let me also be clear. Another reason for their massive loss, as the shutdown, the government shutdown, the Republican government shutdown becomes the longest in U.S. history. Well, now you got MAGA Mike Johnson trying to say that Democrats are the ones who are inflicting pain on Americans. Play that clip.
From the far left activists who now run the Democratic Party, more than they fear families going hungry, workers going without paychecks, planes being delayed, flights being canceled. I mean, they just don't seem to care about the pain they're inflicting on the people, and we're trying to get at least a handful of moderates and centrists who are left in the Democrat Party in the Senate to do the right thing and break this impasse.
Again, he could continue to go on television every day, which is what this administration wants. They want him out there every day spewing the same lie because they believe that the more you repeat the lie, the more the likelihood that the lie becomes the truth. Now, Johnson also said that his daily presser is the only way to get the truth out there. Play that clip.
I'm not surprised that people are misled because the entire mainstream media is out every day parroting the talking points of Chuck Schumer. I have to go do a press conference every morning just to try to put the truth out there, the simple truth that is not changing. It sounds repetitive to us,
not from
but that's what it
6 to
takes to
9
try
here,
to saturate.
Not from 6 to 9 here, Mr. Speaker. We're not parroting.
I know.
Yeah, let me be very clear. How many of you have actually seen Chuck Schumer out there doing a press conference? How many of you out there have seen Democrats, whether it's Hakeem Jeffries or anyone for that matter, doing a daily presser? The answer is no. No, it's MAGA Mike Johnson and the Republicans that are out there every single day doing the talking points, something that we all know that they receive every single morning. Now, Laura Ingraham, she claimed that Trump is focused on affordability. Sure, play that clip.
As for Zoran's affordability pitch, affordability is exactly what President Trump is focused on. That's why he's trying to use tariffs to improve the fiscal situation in the U.S. so we can have more jobs here, make more stuff here, and get lower interest rates here. And by the way, his drill, baby, drill is all about making energy more affordable, and it has.
And yet, inflation is on the rise, and yet tariffs are destroying people's ability to budget their own lives. As again, I wrote in my Substack, the Supreme Court versus the tariff king. Let me be clear something. Yesterday, there was also oral argument in front of the Supreme Court of the United States regarding these tariffs, whether or not he was actually legally even allowed to impose them. Mind you, many of the justices, in at least their questioning of Sauer, Trump's attorney, were skeptical. We're skeptical that they're even legal. Howard Lutnick, well, he tried to claim that the justices, well, he knows, because Howard knows everything, on Trump's side. Play the clip.
In all seriousness, this case matters, I believe, for more than any other reason, not only economically, national security. How do you think it went today?
Oh, this is the Super Bowl. This was the Super Bowl of trade, right? Trade, and this was it. The only thing missing was walk-on and walk-off music and a halftime show. I mean, this was it. And there were fireworks all the time. But think of some of these questions, like Justice Kavanaugh says, imagine a meeting in the Oval Office with the president where, and this was his cross-examination of their lawyer, and he says, you've said he could embargo, he could cut off trade with any country, and their lawyer said, I agree. He goes, imagine telling the president in the Oval Office, sir, you can blow up trade with this country. And he goes, that seems too much. Can I put a tariff on him and do a little less? And they say, no, sir, you can't. And Justice Kavanaugh says, that seems like a very odd donut to me. I mean, how could you let that happen? It just didn't make sense. The justices were on the president's side. You're hearing it here from me. President Trump is going to win this case.
Okay. You're willing to bet your position on that? You see, here we are. Right? Trump's lawyers were screaming about life or death for our country. This is literally what they were doing, screaming life or death for our country, while the justices were squirming in the ideological trap that Trump set for them. Because on one hand, you have the conservatives who love to champion executive power, especially when it's their guy. All right? It's not all of them, but when it's their guy. But then on the other, they've actually built decades of case law railing against government meddling in the free market. You see, you can't claim to defend liberty and capitalism while letting a president single-handedly tax the global economy like a monarch. Now, if you don't believe me, let me show you. Here's a line of questioning from a, let's just say, usually MAGA Neil Gorsuch. Play the clip.
Is a highly
Can you give me a reason to accept it, though? That's what I'm struggling and waiting for. What's the reason to accept the notion that Congress can hand off the power to declare war to the president?
Well, we don't contend that. Again, that would
well,
be...
you do. You say it's unreviewable. There's no manageable standard, nothing to be done. And now I think tell me if I'm wrong. You backed off that position.
Maybe that's fair to say.
Okay, all right.
That would be, I think, an abdication. That would really be an abdication, not a delegation.
Yeah, and finally, when Fox runs out of experts to have on their shows, well, then they turn to celebrities, like Lady Gaga's dad. Play the clip.
And, I mean, let's face it, this guy was a TikTok celebrity.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about. So let me end it this way. Trump's wrong. He's dead wrong here. Tariffs, you've heard me say it a million times, tariffs are taxes, and consumers pay tariffs. And no amount of bluster, no amount of branding or America First propaganda is going to change the fact that this is just another Trump scam, wrapped in a flag, sold as patriotism, and billed directly to you. And as always, Thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.